All right, welcome everybody. It's been a good holidays. I've been away with my family for a few days and just ready to get back and take a look at some charts. So I would say that this holiday period has been pretty stable. I mean, taking a look at the 12 hourly chart, we've been in a range. Do I have a price range? So we've been in this range since, let's just take from the new year. So roughly it's about here, excluding those 2 days, to around here. So we've been in a 400 point range for the past, what is that? That's from around the 19th of December all the way until the 9th of January. Now you can see from the moving averages that we have been trending upwards, except for this flat period that we had in between, and now we've started to move up again. Unfortunately, the up move has not been as strong, I think, as a lot of people have thought. There's probably a bunch of reasons for that. Probably because we have not gotten to the bottom of the market, or we're going to be trending around in this area, this channel, for the next 6 to 12 months, which is my kind of guess. So if we go take a look at the daily, so we're taking a look at BitMEX here. So if we take a look at the daily, we can see that we've come down from the top of the market, and we are currently, just adjust this a little bit, currently right at the tip of trying to break through this trend line. Signaling the end of the bear market and movement into what would be the next accumulation phase. This downward trend from the top of the market from 15th has been continuing for more than a year. So breaking it finally and making a higher high would be a significant move. So the higher high would be, in this case, we would need to break 42, but it seems unlikely at this point. Well, I don't know. I don't have anything to say about it yet. We'll take a look at the charts here now, and let me just bring it closer. So we're right here, actually. So really just right here, the trend line. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts. Let's adjust a few things. So taking a look at the support and resistance levels, I want to adjust a few things because this this resistance level has been more in this area. And I want to take a volume profile of fixed range. All right. I'm going to draw a volume profile from the time that we entered this, so from here until here. All right. Let's give this volume profile a bit more resolution. And give it to 300 rows. Okay, now we have a bit more resolution. Yeah, I want to adjust. So we can see that the dips have been in this area. There's been low volume. The primary volume point, the RSC, hold on. I can't remember the term right now. Anyways, the primary volume point which we've been trading around has been this 38.32 level, with also significant levels at 36.61 and also 33.84, which is the bottom most volume traded level below this area that we're in right now. So the primary area, and I'm just going to adjust this up a little bit. Right, so the value area since coming down has been in between 42.81 and 35.75, which have 35.75 was actually the bottom. So just move this down a little bit to adjust this. So the value area that we've seen throughout this move from the down move from November, 25th of November, from Thanksgiving, has been in this value area. So the primary level, which we're trying to break right now, is here, which is around 4085. It could be up to about 4,100. We've touched it several times, at least the 4080. We touched 4130 on BitMEX the other day. So right now, I'm actually looking long. So the position that I entered was twofold. For my more aggressive position, I was looking at this. So the more aggressive position was entered at 3820, roughly around here, and I still am in that position, right? And my stops for that were 3700. Actually, I was in this position for a very long time, from around here. Actually, it was 3800. Sorry, it's 3800. Stops at 3700, right here. And that was my more aggressive position because it was a bit difficult to see where it was going to go after this kind of squeeze that we were going through. We had just a flat triangle with just barely some movement upward. Now that we've moved up, we're coming towards this trend line to hopefully break out of this long downtrend. Additionally, we hopefully will break out of this 4100. So after we moved up, the more aggressive trade turned into a less aggressive trade using the model that has been devised. So essentially, the trade. So it's difficult to put stops on, right? I don't want to go risk. Let's just put there. So at least 4200. So with this trade, I was looking to come in. I came in about 4030. 4030 with stops at 3820. And then as it developed, I was using the ADMA to guide me in my decision to place my stops. So really now, if there's a close below 3970, it would signify the end of this kind of long move that I've been trying out. And I would want to place my stops somewhere below there. Actually, stops are still at 3820, but if we get a close below this ADMA, then I'll close the position. Looking at the stochastics, right? Got a divergence, downward divergence in the stochastics. Also looks like we're about to make a cross on the WT cross. Now, looking at the WT cross, it's starting to get to a more significant period. Anything that's above this 50 or 60 period starts to become significant and starts to become a trade that I'll look at. So one thing that can actually happen is that you'll get a red dot here closer to the top, and then it will continue to make a higher high after that. You can see that the opposite here, where it came down, we had the cross came down, and we had a firing of the cross for a long signal, but it was still under its ADMA, and so as it just kept on coming down and coming down, it refired again, and then we had a new signal here, but it was still under the ADMA. And then finally, there was started to see divergence. When you see divergence on the cross, again, it's similar to the divergences in the stochastic RSIs. There was a movement back above this 50 range, which signifies some sort of upward movement. And finally, the ADMAs were crossed, but it wasn't a long position still because we didn't cross through the 21 EMA. And at this point, once it came back down, Again, it was a reshort through here, all the way down until the 32, and then entered into this short, or sorry, the long position, brand new long position on at 3,400 on 17th of December. So since that period, there's been a slow climb, $600 climb, up to around 4,000, where we are right now. And what I'm expecting is a continuation of this trend. However, it's all dependent on staying above this ADMA. And so that's specifically what I'm looking at right now. We've seen a movement away. Hopefully we get more movement. We get a flattening out, and we get a push up to here, to this 4150 area. It's really what I'm looking for. As for ETH, ETH has been a difficult product. Actually, let's take a look at, before we go to ETH, let's take a look at BTC on the hourly. I'm gonna get rid of this stop loss stuff. Okay, so taking into account that the, let's make a stop. I'm just gonna draw a prior exchange. What did I say? 39. Is it closed below 39.70 on the 12-hour? So let's draw that out. Just price range, right? So any close in here would represent a discontinuation of the long, which I entered in up here at 40.30. And so what I'm looking for really is some sort of just breakout of this pattern. So breakout above, what would be about 40.80, closing above 40.80 would be that, or also closing below 39.70. So this is a nice accumulation pattern. If you think that we're going to have a good pop up, let's take a look at the volume profile. So it's been a very balanced auction, right? Look at the shape of this. I'm just going to draw. Do I have a, right, okay. I have a drawing tool, brush. Okay, so look at the shape of this, the volume profile. It's so dark. Okay, so very even auction, which signifies that, well, it doesn't show anything really. It's not bearish, it's not bullish. It just shows that there's an even auction at these levels. So I'm keeping my eye on it. Really, nothing is going to change until we get into these upper periods. I may try to fade it a little bit, try to re-enter if we don't get a any leveling out. What I'm worried about is that we get another BART all the way back down to 3,800, which is not what I want. I mean, it's a continuation of this very choppy pattern that we saw. So like this is just BART, 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 like just very choppy pattern, instead of getting these very long continuation bars all the way up, which is what I really want. So let's leave that and let's move on to Ethereum. So Ethereum, I've done multiple shorts on over the past few days. It's been very weak as it crosses through the ADMA on the 12-hourly. Peaked on the WT cross. So peaked on the WT cross here on the 6th of January at, when it was at 153. Now it's trading down at 151. Get rid of volume profile. So taking a look at the volume profile of ETH, we can see that it's a very different auction than Bitcoin. Let me go back to Bitcoin just so you can see the difference. So in Bitcoin, we have a very even auction, right? There's a central point of control, and then the value area is evenly spread on both sides. However, for Ethereum, you can see that there is no even auction. That we had several different points of control with, I believe this, yeah, this is the most traded. So actually 151 has been the most traded so far, which is good because it signifies continued upward motion, that there's actually a lot of people buying and selling at these levels. So the things I'm looking at today is that on the stochastic RSIs, there's been a work off of the oversold condition that was here a few days ago. Now we're going overbought again. And we're starting to reach the previous levels where the WT cross dots fired, which could be an indication that we're going to get a nice reversal to the upside. The biggest thing I'm looking for is just to see that it stays above the 21 EMA. If there's a break of this, probably look to start entering into a short. Taking a look at the hourly. So let's say we are planning the short trade. Let me go back and just make sure my levels are okay, right? That level's good. This level should be more the point of control. I'll adjust this on the hourly. This is a good level. Like this level 2. This is aligns with the previous point of control. And this is bottom here. Okay, so I like these. I like these levels. Okay. So what I'm looking for here is really to get another peak on the hourly into some sort of overbought condition. Both an overbought condition and also in the WT cross, because if I assume that ETH is going to have a sell-off of some sort, I'd like to get it at a higher level, somewhere above 156. I think would be a nice short. I don't know if we'll get there. I mean, BTC would have to probably move up $100 for ETH to come up that far, because it's quite a bit. And taking a look at ETH BTC, that's such a short. Look at this, very clean trendline break. Also at the same time having a cross between the 9 and the 21 EMA. This is a very good short, actually. I don't really usually trade ETH BTC, but that would have been very nice. So looking at it here, you can see that we're about to cross over again. We had a peak on the WT cross, also divergence downwards on the RSI. So could have more sell-off in ETH, but really would just want a break of this, right? So this is kind of the upwards trend line right now, pretty flat actually. This, because this one's already broken. We can take a few actually. So there's a few. So 130 is the area that I was looking for. It kind of coincides with this previous support level at 125, so between 125 and 130. I think is a very nice, attractive level from where we are. Taking today into account, let's take a look at the 15. Sometimes the 15 provides a bit more resolution, especially for these trades. Especially trying to short on the 15-minute whenever it gets above on the WT cross. Whenever it gets above, it always usually works out pretty well into these higher territory trades. Usually works out pretty well. Let's see. In addition to this, I want to take a look at XRP on the 12-hour. So XRP, let's take a look, has been very balanced. This is a bit more bottom heavy, which kind of tells me that it's probably a good possibility that it comes back up here. again, looking to break this flat area, this kind of flat trade that we've been through. There's been a nice compression throughout Ripple, around this 37 cents to 36 cents range. They're trading within a 1 cent range. It's pretty tight. We are trading above the 80 MA, and 80 MA is also above 21, which is also significant. I would say that it would need to break out, have a significant breakout above 38 and 6, but I'm not going to look at it right now. It's not something I'm interested in. Same thing for Bitcoin Cash, except this looks worse. A downward divergence on RSI, and also slightly downward divergence on the MT cross. So let's take a look at the hourly. Again, you can see this downward divergence both on the RSI and also in the price as well too. On the hourly, the 80 MA is below 21. Take a look at Ripple as well too. Well, here on Ripple, you can see it's the opposite. We have positive divergence, upward movement. At the same time, the 80 MA is also above the 21 here. So it's the opposite for Ripple, not be cash. Litecoin. Oh, it's not a bit nice. So look at this auction here for LTC. We're seeing movement up into outside of the value area. So we're outside of the value area now. There's a smaller sub point of control up here. And there's been a big gap around this $37 part, $37 area. We're also seeing not extreme, but getting very far out on the MT cross, which kind of shows. Let me take a look at BTC, because that's the product that I would actually trade. Oh my God, that's really nice. This is 12 hour. I think I'm gonna take a short here, because we're extremely far out of the meat. Let's get rid of this. So, all right, so we're well out of the value area here, and there's much less volume being taken into account on LTC BTC. There is a bit of upward, could be the last push, really, on this. So I think we can make a short here. Very nice, actually. Taking this into account, I would want to, let's just say we take a short here, right? First target is going to be 80 MA, and stops would be just about up here. So it looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the hourly first. Right. Okay. So here we are, finally getting a close. 80 MA just crossed into the 21. Downward divergence on empty cross. Downward divergence on stochastic RSIs. I think it's pretty nice, actually. I'm going to take a look at what does BitMEX look like, right? It's even better on BitMEX. This is almost like a hedge. Ooh, look at that. So here's the breakout. Hopefully starting, I was thinking about only getting a green, some positive upward movement on the everything. That's pretty nice. Very nice. So anyways, not taking that into account, I think the trade here is going to be looking for 2 hour, right? So this is 2 hours, a little bit better resolution here, I think, for LTC. Getting a lot of downward movement. It's down through the 80 MA, down through 21 in the 2 hour. 4, right? 4 is even better, just crossing through the 80 MA. So I think this LTC short probably would be pretty decent. Interesting. It's very interesting. So setting this up, right? I would want setting it up. The trade was to come from 955 down to 934. And yeah, here the dot is actually fired on the 12 hour, and there's downward divergence on the far side. So yes, I think coming down to this 935 area would be very interesting. That's here, 935. While having stops at 970. 20 points down, and I don't know if I like that. I'd like to get it higher. If you could catch it up here, so maybe catching it up here at 970 would be the better option. It's a 970 to 935. Looks like it would be a better fit. Because then you can set your stops above the highs, just above the highs, like this. And then you're coming down to 9, let's just say 930. You're looking for the lows again. So 930. Let's get this one set up, and stops at 990. So 1.61. Decent. 2.8%. Leverage 10x, so it's like a 40% trade. So you're risking 25% to make 40%. At 10x, which isn't so bad, I think. This isn't so bad at all. So yeah, I think it's going to wrap it up for today. Take a look at TRX. Whoa, man, TRX is flying. Look at that. I haven't been watching TRX for the past few days, but I know it's been on a tear. Now look at that. Just BHS, BCH. Should be BCH, not BCHH. There we go, Bitcoin Cash futures. That's a pile of crap. Ooh. That would be a pile of crap. All right, so it's going to wrap it up for today. I'm not going to take a look at any kind of the altcoins today. Ooh, look at that. Look at NFT. Finally pumping. Getting some movement out of there. And also Icon, right? Finally, Icon's up 20% from those lows. Very nice. XMR, that's very nice as well too. All right, it's going to wrap it up for today. This went on for quite a while, so thanks for catching this. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be back tomorrow.